I am not that mechanically savvy.
You don't say!
There's going to be lots of yelling and swearing, I can predict. Walk around and find out. Walk around and find out. Oh, Sam, why don't you work on cars more yourself? Next problem. We have got drive-by-wire throttle body, upper water neck, fuel rail, manifold, and a wiring loom, all in the way. Well, this episode's a pretty simple one. I have no mechanical ability whatsoever. That is a broken 80 series. And today, I'm going to try and fix it and I'm going to bring you guys along for the ride. It may go smoothly, it may go to absolute shit, but it's going to be fun, we're going to have fun, it's going to be fine, everything's fine.
To say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would.
Anyway, let's get into it. Oh! What's up, friends? Let's quickly run you through exactly what is actually wrong with this thing. I was driving back from, I believe it was World Time Attack, and the alternator / battery light on the Haltech dash started flashing at me, and the alternator stopped working. I looked, and the little alternator bracket thingy, I guess the adjuster on these engines, had basically fallen off. So, I'm hoping the alternator's fine and it's actually just that and wasn't able to hold tension on the belt and not charging. That's what I'm hoping, so I'm going to try and fix that today. I'm going to bring you along for the ride. I don't really know much about working on cars, so this could be interesting. There's going to be lots of yelling and swearing, I can predict. Anyway, shall we? Okay, so that guy down there, I believe, is the problem child. I am going to rip that off. I've got a new one of these, and I'm hoping that because the belt is so loose, once we re-tension that, I'm hopeful that the alternator will charge again. Cross your fingers for me. So I've got an event, I've got hot import nights this Sunday, bump in this Saturday. I need to be able to drive the car there. At the moment I cannot, so that's sort of what we're doing. Bit of a race against the clock. Walk around and find out if we can get there or not, otherwise I'm gonna have to tow this thing and that sucks. Anyway, let's go get some parts, we'll get some tools, hope for the best. The other thing worth mentioning is, I've had it on charge in there for a hot while now. I don't know if this thing's gonna start, but I figure, also, if I started making these key tags, would you buy them? Let me know in the comments below. We'll see if it starts. It's been about a month since I've started this thing, so I'm assuming not. It also has no cold start tune in it whatsoever, so let's just see what happens. That is genuinely shocking. So, welcome to the less cracky part of my cracked end. Out there is the cracked end, but that's fine. Come follow me. Car collection on point. But anyway, come around here. So I'll show you the bits and pieces we've got to work with. We've got the new little adjuster block, the new mega bolt. We are one bolt short. Also, 930 turbo. Got some very cool stuff in here. None of it's mine, and that's why it's all so nice. Now, if you can't already tell by now, I am not that mechanically savvy.
You don't say!
So we're gonna just have a go here and see what happens. I actually don't even know if this is what's wrong with the car, to be honest. The downside with the custom car is to replace that alternator, we have got drive-by-wire throttle body, upper water neck, fuel rail, manifold, and a wiring loom, all in the way. So that's gonna suck. Anyway, we'll fuck around and find out, I guess. Lately, I've been trying a whole lot of this filming myself business, and quite hard. Turns out, I don't even know which camera to look at. So, stand by. I'm gonna stick my head in here and have a look. Update, I don't have what I need to fix the car. We're gonna have to go on an adventure. Oh, hey guys. Oh, are you lonely? Get yourself a set of Maxxis Trepidors. They're quite the comfortable, snuggle companion. Anyway, in here we have, that is actually not the problem child right now. We need the bolt that's gonna sit in there, and I don't know if I have it, because that's gonna go down there, the bolt goes through this block and into the alternator, and then you can either tighten that or loosen that, and that's going to pull the alternator in or out. Ugh. That is one thing I don't think I have. So I'm going to go raid Leon's bolt collection and we'll see what we can or can't find. My thought process is, I'm hoping Toyota was smart enough to match the thread of this block with the thread of the alternator. I'm gonna fuck around and find out. Oh no! Huh? I'm getting bullied. Henry thought I was talking to his sewing machine. And a loser. No, shaking his head. Oh, hang on. Look at the fucking googly eyes that Jen's put everywhere. Okay. Got a couple of options. Best chair in the house. Dachi. Nothing but the best. Now, oh, glare. Good. Just what I wanted. Sunburn. The reason this has bit us in the arse is because Max went and said, hey, should we get new alternator and new hardware for your engine? And I said, nah, we'll be fine. Turns out we were not fine. Because the old bolt, I remember, just before it fell out at the show, was completely so it's now bit us in the arse. I think we're gonna need a 12 on a swivel with a short extension and potentially even a smaller ratchet. Also, update. This isn't even a 12. This is a 13. Oh, Sam, why don't you work on cars more yourself? Let me tell you, kids. Nice, man. You know what Leon loves? It's when I go through his tools. Yo! Hey, man. Ah, nice. God, it's all happening. This is going to be our key to success. I hope. We'll see. Right, so quickly check it's a 13, which it is. We love that, we love that. Short extension. Your weapon of choice. I think we're having success, which is rare for a guy like me. Okay, right. Then, in theory, if I put a 12mm on this now and wind that adjuster out, wind it in. So we're looking good. I've got no fucking idea how tight it's meant to be, but welcome. Hopefully the belts don't snap because I've over tightened them. Also, the starter motor's fucked in this thing, so you might be about to hear it click. Still not charging. That's fucking annoying. Where are we at? Not looking great. We are just changed over that little brackety boy, and still no charge. I've just tightened it up a bit more. I'm going to check again, but I think the alternator is because it's plugged in and it's got earth and all that sort of shit. So don't really know what else to check. I'll get a multimeter and make sure that it is the alternator and not something weird like the dash is just reading something wrong. I'll check the battery and stuff, but yeah, I think that is a bit of a meme. So I've been on the phone to Automotive Superstore. They are going to send me out a new alternator, but we're not going to get that for a day or two, which gives us basically no time to get this thing ready for the show. So, hopefully that fixes it. I'm about to do some diagnostics. I'm going to start the thing up, grab a multimeter, see what happens. But yeah, my life. I also think I don't need to put new spark plugs in this. The reason I thought I needed to put new spark plugs in this was because on the way home, after it dropped the alternator, I thought it was running a little bit weird, but what I think it was that there was just basically not enough voltage. It was only like 10 volts in the battery on the dash. I feel like there was just not really enough voltage for the ignition system to do what it needed to do happily. So we're going to run it up to temperature, see if it'll survive. Quickly grab the multimeter, do some tests, see what's what. Otherwise, we're about to restart this video from this point in a couple of days with an alternator. batteries in the back here, so quite easy to test. Alright, well, don't you love it when it doesn't go to plan? Anyway, we're gonna jump in the daily. We're gonna go out to Automotive Superstore, pick up an alternator. They actually have one in stock, which is sick. So hopefully tonight I can swap that over, because it's Tuesday now. It gives us a little bit more breathing room until the show on Saturday. Bump in on Saturday for hot import nights on Sunday. Fingers crossed. Anyway, let's drive through peak hour Sydney.
Several song-filled hours later.
After battling the worst possible traffic Sydney could throw at me. Ha! Nice. We made it. I'm gonna go grab the alternator. I'll be back in a jiffy. Who's a lucky boy? Hey friends, welcome back. Right. The good thing about doing this outside is that we have a time limit on daylight, so that's good. Here is our new alternator. Oh, Jesus. I can probably put this on a tripod, can't I? Work smarter, not harder. What the bloody hell's going on? This is the new alternator. So, Automotive Superstore with the hookups. As always, looking after me. If you want them to look after you, use the code Naughty40. Create an account, check out Naughty40. You'll save some cash on your first order. So you can give them a try and save some money. This should get us out of trouble. I checked it was the same. I believe it's the same. If it's not, I'll kill myself. I shouldn't joke about that, but it's true. I think we're in business. Emphasis on think. I don't know much about anything, but what I do think I can see is the same plug as what we have, so fingers crossed, I guess. Now, what do I need to loosen all this off with? Come here often? Also check out that Astra wagon in the background. I don't know who owns it. It's just here. Been here for years. I'm not actually convinced anyone owns it. Did you know that this Crackden is not actually my house? I know it might come as a surprise to a lot of you. And a lot of you wanted to think, oh, Sam actually lives in a Crackden. That's pretty crazy. No, I don't live here. So to ruin your lives. If I put this whole new alternator on, and it's not the alternator. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm just a bloke having a go, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. Next problem. As expected, hits on the drive-by wire. Spicy. I've called in the expert, Max. It's like he's here, but he's not.
Deb's called in the two experts, boiling for a 4x4 and one HD FDE cruising.
Shut the... Okay. Imagine trying to convert the whole world to 1FZ for 3 minutes and then getting upset with a little bit of fuel bill. And you go, oh, my car's using 28 litres. My car's using 28 litres per 100. I'm too sad. I can't tour in it. I'm going to build a $50,000 FTE because that'll save me money. You fucking idiot! Anyway.
Petrol is well and truly dead.
Okay, good thing this is ethanol, because ethanol's alive, baby. Alive and kicking. Fucking Brisbane dogs. Can't wait to move there, boys. Anyway, I'm going to pull this alternator out and throw it through the windscreen of that Astra.
Call me when you're single and we'll be together.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Update time. There's been quite a bit happening. We ended up having to pull this bracket off. That's the little adjusty bracket thing. We had to pull that off because someone put drive-by-wire throttle in the way. That was us. So, anyway, to avoid having to pull that off and then having to f*** around with silicone spray and O-rings and stuff, okay. The alternator is now well and truly falling out. But basically, to avoid having to pull the drive-by-wire throttle body off, we just took that bracket completely off the engine and the alternator came out the bottom. The new one can go back in the same way that one came out, and fingers crossed all our problems are solved. I'll believe it when I see it. Oh, it's a boy! This has seen some things. Also, we rattle canned it. Oh. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear this. That's squeaking. Not a good sign. Anyway, shall we try put the new one in? Here's our new alternator. No squeaking. Let's compare the pair. Right, alternator is on, earth plug. Now we just basically have to fucking douse it back up in there. Sort of in, sort of, I guess. Maybe. Just basically trying to wiggle it up into the tightest bracket ever. Up the top. Get the top bolt through. Bolt that bracket back on. Then we can get the adjuster on. Bottom bolt. Belts back on. Tighten it all up. Check that it's charging. Call it a day. Maybe. Not gonna lie to you folks. That was a piss take. New alternator in. We're about to kick it in the guts and hope it charges. If it doesn't, next week I'll be tying a noose. But anyway, fingers crossed it's fine. We basically, you know when there's those jobs where you sort of try to skip a few steps to try and save time, but it ends up costing you way more time? You guessed it. So anyway, we got there in the end. There's a Dremel down there, don't worry about that. Everything fit exactly how it was meant to. Anyway, we'll kick it in the guts in a second. We'll see if it's all fixed. If not, oh, hey, what's up? Welcome to my box. This is, we're gonna try and start it. Once it starts. Well, with a little bit of fucking around, we got it done. It charges. 14 volts again. I'm going to be able to drive to the UN. And overall, I'm not going to lie to you, this is sort of one of those days which really brings me back to earth and reminds me how fun it is to do basic fun jobs on a vehicle like this, especially when you win at the end of the day. Yeah. I had a lot of fun today. I'm glad I could bring you guys along for the ride. That wasn't a massive crazy episode like putting in coilovers or making, 1,000 horsepower, but it was fun. And I guess if it encourages you guys to have a go at spinning spatters on your own car, then I have done my job. Anyway, time for a cold frothy. Anyway guys, boom, do all the things, like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see ya next week.